I'm Maria, and I have found a cure for loneliness in a bottle full of giggle water, in a tab quickly dissolving on my tongue, along with any sense of reality. In the sweet honey mouth of a boy, whose name I still cannot pronounce, and whose hands have pulled and parted my body. And yet it's none of those. I have found the cure for loneliness in between the crinkled pages of a book that I carried everywhere I went, from home to school, to work, to a bar where my name is etched on the leg of a stool, where the barkeep fixes me up a gin and soda, even though I had asked for a gin and tonic. I even carried it with me in the dark, where I read it to my most loyal companion, loneliness. Those pages helped me repress the trivialities of my existential dread, but it also added fuel to the wildfire that is my existential dread. So I guess that's not it then. I have found the cure for loneliness in science, in the cosmos. We're not alone. No, in language, in literature, and in poetry. No, in art, in colors, in movement. No, in the rings of Jupiter. No, in the strength of the raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. No, that's Mulan. Maybe Mulan has the cure. I have found it in sarcasm, in cynicism, in sardonicism, sometimes in mysticism. Although I think I found it in the act of forgetting. After all, ignorance is bliss, and oblivion is sublime. And yet it's still none of those. I can't quite put my finger on it. I did find it on the tip of my finger, sometimes two. But let's not get into that. I have found it in a friend who talks like me, but her language is this eloquent, old-timey limerick. I have found it in a friend who walks like me, but she treads with this Brooklyn swag, never losing composure. And then I am reminded that I am the Martian child that must be kept in isolation. But that story's for another time, because I have found the cure for loneliness. I do not know the world without loneliness. It is my shadow, my reflection, always hovering in my peripherals. It is the music constantly playing in the background. It is the faint, recognizable scent every which way I turn. I do not know myself apart from it. Do you know how lonely it is to be a child? If I were a time traveler, I'd sit with the 5-year-old me. I'd tell her that loneliness is no stranger, that it is not a villain, nor an anomaly. I tell her the value of solitude and how it will define her, me, us. I tell her to believe that I have found the cure for loneliness. I swear I have. I must have misplaced it again. I must have put it in the breast pocket of my flannel shirt and lost it in the wash, but I'm sure as shit I found it. I have found a cure for loneliness. You believe me, right? Thank you.